Hello, 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 everyone. Welcome back, y'all, to a new episode for the Person in the Back podcast. This is your girl, Charlisa Wellington. If you may not know me, I'm Christ's servant. Nothing more, nothing less. But I want to be able to come to you guys as a woman trying to figure out how in the world have I got to this point from the point I was before that didn't know much about God. I just knew what he was saying, but I didn't know the person that was saying it. So a part of my journey that I truly felt that God was really speaking to me on when it came to embracing myself, it had to do with my hair. It had a lot to do with my hair because at first, y'all, I was thinking, uh, in the beginning, I wasn't natural. I like perms. I was getting perms because my mama was used to giving me perms. But then I started to see the trend. Like in fourth grade, I was like, a girl cut her hair off and looking like a little baby doll with her hair that short. I was like, oh no, I would never do that. But as time progressed, even soon as I graduated high school, that's when I decided I wanted to just start growing my hair out, because I was like, my hair is so thin, it's long, but it doesn't have any depth to it. It doesn't have any strength or volume to it. So I wanted to decide to grow my hair out and let it get thick. At first, I just wanted it to get thick. Even when I got a perm or I got my hair straightened or whatever, it still have that depth and that volume. But I knew if I just go ahead and just take the leap into truly being natural, that it would benefit me, in the long run, and my hair texture would be better. And I just trusted God that he would get me through that process. So once I started growing my hair out, I started seeing other people like making the big chop, and I still wasn't embracing it to the fullest. I was like, let me just take a little leap. So I would cut just a little bit off at a time. I wasn't cutting off the whole thing, but once my hair got to like this much and then the rest of it was straight, I was like, let me just go ahead and cut the rest of this off, because it didn't look right with the different textures. Like, it was kind of like in a spiritual place where you half and half. When God be like, I don't want you hot nor cold. I'd rather have you hot or cold. I don't want you in the middle. That's how my hair looked. It was just straight on the end and it was curly and half from the roots. And I just didn't like that. People would just tell me like, girl, you need to go ahead and cut that off. So I just took the leap of faith and cut the rest of it off, and I felt so much better. But I wasn't as bold as people go to cut all of their hair off. But sometimes in your life, that's what it's going to take. You're going to have to cut all of your people off. And sometimes you want to cut some people off like me. I wanted to cut little people off just, time after time. If something went wrong, okay, now I'm going to cut you off. Instead of just being obedient to God's spirit when he tells me, you need to go ahead and cut those people off. You don't have to wait till something goes wrong in order for you to cut those people off. Just cut them off when I tell you to cut them off. This will save you so much time, y'all. If y'all get the principle of just listening to God's voice whenever he unctions something in your spirit to cut it off, just cut ties with it. You don't need a whole dissertation of why it's wrong. Just go ahead and leave it. Once God give you a red flag or a small red sign, please just leave. Don't wait to the end till somebody and slapped you, hit you upside your head, broke your last toe, slapped your mama, for you to say, oh, this person just isn't the right person, or your friends to just take you down a really dark path for you to get to where you need to be in your spiritual life. So if God gives you a pre-warning, just go ahead and take it. If somebody tell you, even in the natural, if this is something that you want to do, if you want to do something that you've always wanted to do it. What's stopping you? If God's giving you the unction, you may miss out on the promise that God has for you because you don't want to make the decision now. Back then, my hair used to be so short, y'all. I'm gonna post a picture one day. But back then, my hair was just so short, but I was embracing it. I was going in. I thought my hair was just so long, but my confidence was way bigger than what my hair looked like. But now my confidence matches my hair now, if that makes sense. So when you are really maturing in your relationship with God, He wants to give you godly confidence. He wants to give you that unction that you are more than enough, that you are the apple of His eye. So act like it before you even see it manifest in the natural realm. So don't let anyone discourage you just by the way things look, because it can match up to how your life will look later on. So be confident in that, because your girl was just thinking that she was on point every single day. I was doing something, but God had to prune me. That was my David moment, when I had this much of hair. Okay, when I had this much of hair, I was pruning, baby. I was being in the field. I was trying to do my little twist. I was trying to do my little styles. I was trying to put some rods in there. I was trying to do little by little, not knowing that this is what I was going to need in the future once I did get the longer length of hair that I desired, you know? So make sure that you're doing the things as if you're doing it by the outcome that you wanted. So this may be just speaking, for an example. If you're only speaking to one person, speak to them like you're speaking to a million people, because you may be doing that one day. If it's calling for writing or going to school or working a job, you don't know who's watching you. So doing your best at that moment will put you in a position where you're practicing all along. When I played basketball, I love to go in the gym by myself. I love to work even when people wasn't working. You feel me? I love to do that, because that, for one, that was integrity. For two, it just built my confidence up to be able to do that in front of people with the competition. So whatever you do, make sure that you're doing it as if you're doing it unto the Lord. So in your private time, your self-control is not going to be exercised when you get that person in front of you. Your self-control is going to be exercised when you're by yourself with one person. And then when you get to the next person, that's when it will show what you have exhibited before. So make sure that you're doing that before you try to get to the end goal, because the end goal is going to require you to show what you've been doing right now. So do not be discouraged in this season if you're not seeing the complete fruit that you want to see, because you are in the process of God grooming you into the person that you need to be. But if you never made that step, if I never made that step, just for an example, y'all be thinking long term, like, what if I never made the step to cut my hair off, and take the natural journey? What if the person I'm supposed to be with, God told them that they would be with somebody with this fro, with this hair like this, and they miss me because I never wanted to take that jump? Not saying God won't work everything out for your good, but what if they miss you because you're so afraid to take that leap and being who God called you to be? If God told you to write that song, write that book, and God tell the other person, like, okay, this person gonna have this stuff done, and you don't have it done, what? You missing the whole point. Because for me, whoever God has for me, I want them to have accomplished those goals, those tasks that God gave him. If they didn't do that, then I'm not going to be able to recognize that person by their fruit, because they didn't take just the small steps in their season of process and trusting God in that thing. So make sure that you're not being missed, because whatever small assignment God gives you, he's making sure that he's gonna expound on that. But if you can't get A done, what you think B gonna get done? If you don't know what 2 + 2 means and how much that's gonna calculate up to, how you think that 2 × 5 is gonna be? So when you are doing these things, when you're moving about in your day-to-day life, when God requires you to make that big chop, when he requires you to transition into the season that you need to be in, it may be isolation from people. It may be actually trusting more people. Whatever season he tells you to be in it. really be in it, because you're gonna appreciate that season on the other side. Because just me looking back and saying, girl, you had a little confidence even though you didn't look like what you needed. But you look down on yourself when you're doing the small stuff, but the small stuff is what really got you to where you need to be. So do not be discouraged in this season thinking that, oh, this is just for nothing. Oh, it's for something. You are here for a reason, whatever it may be. It may look, don't despise the small beginnings, because that is the thing that's gonna get you into building that level of trust with God. I had to trust God. I felt like me embracing my hair, me embracing that small thing, just me not saying, oh, I gotta look like this certain person to be me. If I didn't do that, it had not been for God. It had to be God to make me feel like I was good enough to walk out the house with my hair like that. It had to be God for me to trust him enough to say, God, I trust that you created me for a reason. I trust that everything that you have designed for my life, that your plans are truly intentional. Trust God being intentional in your life, even when it comes down to your voice, when it comes down to the way you walk. Trust him in this season, because it will direct your path to where you need to be. It definitely will. And I want to encourage anyone that's watching this with my sick little voice, my poor little voice, that while you're preparing further for your blessing, that you are looking in the end and having that inspire you, because where you want to be, that you can get there. But this process in between, it can be so hard. It can be so challenging, because you think, oh my God, why do you have me here? I don't know how to get to point B. Well, guess what? What you're doing right now is going to get you there. God will provide a way out of no way, a way of an escape where you feel like, I can never get to that point. Yes, you will. Just make sure that the methods that God is telling you to do, make sure that you're doing it and that you're not skipping any steps. Because soon as you start skipping steps, that's when you're going to miss the true destination that you're supposed to be at. When you start trying to tell God where you need to be, you're going to truly miss where he wants you to be, because you're going to be where you want to be. You're not going to be where he wants you to be. So get on the same page with God, and don't trying to make some demands, because it's not going to work. I tried to make the demands and it didn't work for me. So don't think it's going to work for you, because it may not make it to the other side. Okay. So trust that whatever you're leaving, whatever you're cutting off, that is gonna be for its good. When I cut my perm ends off, it looked so much better. It just didn't go together. Some things in this season in your life, it won't match. Your ungodly friends, your foolish friends that want to go to these different places, it's not going to match your purpose place, because you're going to be wanting to get to your goals, get to the things God told you to do. And those people they're going to want to stay where they are, and they're going to look at you crazy if you are not where they are. So please, that's your signal. That's your indication that you need to cut those people off, that you need to distance yourself, that you need to transition yourself into your new season in the new mindset that God has something better. My hair looks way better than it did before. I promise it looks better. Like, yes, you can do some perm rods and stuff like that, but to have something naturally, to have something that you know that just came from what God has given you, you cannot trade that. So yes, you can make up your own boyfriend. You can conjure up your own husband. You can make up your own job, but your purpose will still be there. Your purpose will still be waiting on you to pick it up, because it's gonna flow and it's gonna be so easy to accomplish that and conquer that. So do not try to go against the grain of thinking that you can do what you want to do, and just because you feel like doing it. No, The stuff that you really don't feel like doing, that's the stuff that matters. The stuff that you think, oh, that's not necessary. Oh, that's so optional. Oh, I can just cut those people off. That's not a problem. I don't have to do it. They're not bad people. Those things right there is gonna separate you from your purpose. It's gonna separate you from your destiny if you do not do it consistently and with a made up mind that I have something better. So be uplifted right now, that once God tell you to do something, just go ahead and do it. Don't question him. Don't try to figure out, God, oh, I can come up with something to make it happen. I can come up with something to make it work. Stop trying to make stuff work and just truly follow God's guidelines to cutting the things that you need to cut and letting go of the things that need to be let go, because that is gonna promote you. You cannot have dead ends on your hair and think that that's gonna help you grow. You cannot have dead weights on you and think that you're gonna flourish, because God talked about in the Bible of letting the things go. Let the dead bury the dead. If you gotta cut it off and it looks short now, cool. You may not have the biggest friend circle, but I promise you, in the end, you will have the people that needs to be connected to you, not the people that want to be connected to you just to see you lose. God wants you to win, so please make sure that you're winning with the right people around you, with the right mindset in your head, thinking that how can I transition from my past? My past looks good for a moment. It may look good straightened out on social media, but I want to make sure that I'm making the moves for my future so that it can be healthy for me. I want my hair to be healthy. I want my heart to be healthy. I want everybody around me to be healthy. So how can I make sure that I'm making the decisions for other people to see me healthy? It's to just cut some things off. It's just to let some things dwindle away from my life, and I will be in the right place at the right time. I pray that you are truly preparing yourself for the things God has to meet you at that moment of preparedness. And you all will be in the right position at the right time. So I pray that you enjoyed this. I pray that this has blessed you. And just keep moving, okay? Keep flourishing and doing the things that God called you to do in your private place, and then in the public he will reward you, and other people will start to compliment you on the things that you did in private when no one was looking. So y'all be blessed and have a great day.